Hello, and welcome to today's Wellness webinar. My name is Shane Drosy, and I am the Wellness Coordinator for the National Alliance on Mental Illness in San Diego. I have the privilege of working on a team of inspiring individuals who devote themselves to empowering their community with cutting-edge technology, apps, training classes, and wellness resources. Our project is funded by the County of San Diego Health and Human Services Agency through the Mental Health Services Act. The services we provide are provided to existing consumers and family members of consumers of the behavioral health services system, and our project was aligned under the MHSA Capital Facilities and Technological Needs Plan, and is called the Consumer and Family Empowerment Technology Project, also known as NAMI San Diego Tech Cafe. I really appreciate you all joining me in today's wellness webinar. I've been with NAMI San Diego for the past 7 months, and today is one of the first times I will be talking about my own personal wellness and what I do to stay well. I do that through bike riding. Today, before I get started, I want to go over a few housekeeping tips with you all. You will notice on the upper right-hand corner of your YouTube screen, there is a circle with an eye. If you click on that info tab, it will bring down a drop menu where you'll have the option to engage in a short poll created for this wellness webinar. There's a link that brings you to the NAMI San Diego Tech Cafe website. And in addition, you have the option of donating directly to NAMI San Diego. If you haven't done so already, we'd love for you to engage with us on social media, on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Twitter and Facebook are at NAMI San Diego, and Instagram is at nami.san.diego. So as I mentioned just a moment ago, today's wellness webinar is surrounding biking and cycling for health. The way that I recorded this video is with a GoPro attached to my bike's handlebars. So you'll notice that at points throughout the video, it will get shaky and bouncy, and if you do tend to get dizzy or feel nauseous easily, feel free to look away. It will not offend me in the least. I have paired this video with some soothing ocean sounds as well, and I will be talking throughout the video about different wellness opportunities here in San Diego, bike trails, bike safety, and kind of an overall overview of what it's like to be a biker here in San Diego. So there's lots to enjoy aside from the video, but I hope you do enjoy the video as well. Here is a list of the bike links that I will be going over throughout this and the next wellness webinar. You can take a look now. I will post these at the end of this video, at the beginning of the next, and the end of the next video as well. So don't worry if you've missed them. Finally, here is the path that I took on this wellness webinar. So I started at that red little tent area over Ocean Beach. That's where I live. I circled up through Dog Beach, up the San Diego River, over the bridge that leads across the river from Ocean Beach to Mission Bay. I went through Marina Village, over the big bridge into Mission Beach, go around the bay, circle over to the ocean side, or crossover rather, and start in Mission Beach and go up to Pacific Beach, where you'll see Crystal Pier Hotel and Cottages, and then that's where I turn around and bike back home. The entire trail, and I do apologize, it looks like it's a little foggy, but the entire trail is about 9.5 miles. It took me about 45 minutes to do it, between 45 and 50 minutes to do it. And it says right here that the estimated arrival time is about 50 minutes round trip. Alright, so that is all of the housekeeping information for you all. Let me jump over and I'm going to bring up the video and we'll go right into our bike tips, and I do hope you enjoy. Alright, so the video starts out with me setting up the camera, making sure everything's functioning, and we'll get started right now. While the video begins, I am going to start by going over safe riding tips brought to you by NHTSA.gov, and that is the National Highway and Traffic Safety Organization. Alright, so to begin, wear a properly fitted bicycle helmet. Protect your brain, save your life. This is pretty obvious. There is no law that requires you to wear a helmet while you're in San Diego and you're riding your bike. But it is obviously it's a smart choice. I do have a few friends that have gotten into accidents with vehicles here in San Diego on their bike, and they have assured me that their helmet was the reason that they are continuing to bike and function today. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself and thinking about your future and wearing a bicycle helmet, and make sure it fits you well. Alright, the next tip is adjust your bicycle to fit. The recommendations are to stand over your bicycle. There should be 1 to 2 inches between you and the top tube or bar if using a road bike, and 3 to 4 inches if it's a mountain bike. The seat should be level front to back. The seat height should be adjusted to allow a slight bend at the knee when the leg is fully extended. The handlebar height should be at the same level with the seat. So I've recently started riding a road bike. That's the bike that I'm riding in this video, and it's the first bike I've had in my adult life that actually fit my 6-foot frame. It doesn't sound like much, but when you have a properly sized bike, your body is able to integrate with the bike so that you get the most momentum, the most force from your pump. So it is important for you to be riding a bicycle that fits your body type, and that you go over these recommendations to make sure that the seat is the correct height, the handlebars are the correct height, everything is properly aligned before you go out on that ride. By the way, we are currently behind a Ford truck across from the Ocean Beach Hotel. And this is Newport Ave. It's the main strip in Ocean Beach. Alright, next, the recommendation is to check your equipment. Before riding, make sure you inflate your tires properly and check that your brakes work. If I didn't have proper brakes, this whole stop-and-go traffic situation would not be very fun. It's very important, the same with your vehicle, to always make sure that your bike is functioning properly the way it's supposed to, for your safety and for the safety of those around you. See and be seen. Whether daytime, dawn, dusk, foul weather, or at night, you need to be seen by others. Wearing white has not been shown to make you more visible. Rather, always wear neon, fluorescent, or other bright colors when riding day or night. Also, wear something that reflects light, such as reflective tape or markings, flashlights, etc. Remember, just because you can see your driver doesn't mean the driver can see you. A lot of this may seem like common sense, but it's really important to follow. We live in a city with 3.3 million people. There's so many people driving at all times, and bikes share the road with those 2,000-pound vehicles. It's important that you are making every effort for the people around you to be able to see you clearly, and that you can see them. It's recommended, and we'll go into it a little bit more in detail later on, to have a flashlight on the front of your bike, or a bike light, and then a flashing red light on the back of your bike. This is actually a law here in San Diego, and it's pretty important that that you have these lights, because it's the only way that a vehicle will be able to see you at night, including your reflective tape and other things that you wear on your body. But it's important to have things that make your presence known to vehicles. Control your bike. Always ride with at least one hand on the handlebars. Carry books and other items in a bicycle carrier or backpack. I would say, if at all possible, keep both hands on your steering wheel, or your handlebars rather. It's just the safest. If you're ever about to fall, you don't want to have anything in your hands. You want to be able to have both hands out so that you can brace yourself and catch yourself. In addition, if you're holding something in your hands and you're trying to make a turn, you're trying to weave in and out of traffic, it's I don't have any data on this, but in my mind it's similar to texting and driving. Just make sure that you're all of your limbs are being utilized when you're maneuvering around a 2,000-pound vehicle. Watch for and avoid road hazards. Be on the lookout for hazards such as potholes, broken glass, gravel, puddles, leaves, and dogs, which we're about to see because we are currently entering Dog Beach. All these hazards can cause a crash. If you're riding with friends and you are in the lead, yell out and point to the hazard to alert riders behind you. So this is pretty important. I know you're all probably pretty familiar with how San Diego roads are, but I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar that there are potholes rampant on all of our roads and our bike trails. It's great that we have them. I am in no way complaining. I'm so thankful to live in a place with so many different bike trails. But just be mindful that they're not perfect, and that if you're not paying attention, you're riding with one hand and you go over a pretty big pothole, you could end up going over your handlebars. So just stay safe. Here we are cresting the hill onto Dog Beach. Dog Beach is on our left, and this is the Ocean Beach bike trail that I just turned onto. This is the trail that we will use to get from Ocean Beach up to Pacific Beach and back. One common courtesy that I like to use when I'm biking, especially on a path that has a lot of people walking, pedestrians, is to announce my presence. So as I approach somebody, I approach on the left and I say, "On your left." I've muted the audio from the video itself and overlaid it with the ocean sounds just for the sake of this video, but if I did leave that audio, you'd be able to hear me constantly saying, "On your left, on your right." It's just a common courtesy, and it allows people to get out of the way for you, and to know that you're coming. It's kind of frightening when somebody is going by at 20 miles an hour on a bike when you're slowly walking, maybe listening to headphones and not really paying attention to what's around you. So just be mindful and be courteous of others. Another good way is just to have a bike bell, but I don't have a fancy bike bell, so I just use my voice. Now here this bike trail going up the San Diego River, this is one of my favorite places in Ocean Beach. It's kind of anytime I'm feeling down or maybe even up, just when I'm wanting to get out, this is where I go. I can ride fast. I've got the beautiful San Diego River on my left. It's absolutely gorgeous at all times. It changes with the seasons. There's cranes, there's ducks, there's waterfowl, there's little frogs and things. It's a great piece of nature, and it's also a great place to come and kind of meditate and feel one with nature. And it's a great place to bike as well. Alright, back to our tips. Avoid riding at night. It is far more dangerous to ride at night than during the day, because you are harder for others to see. If you have to ride at night, wear something that makes you more easily seen by others. Make sure you have reflectors on the front or rear of your bike, I would say both sides. White lights on the front and rear red reflectors on the back are required by law in many states. They are in this state as well, in addition to the flashlights that we went over earlier. So make sure that you're covering your bike with reflectors, anything to kind of help yourself be seen to those bikers and other riders around you. Now, as an aside, many bicycle-related crashes resulting in injury or death are associated with the bicyclist's behavior, including such things as not wearing a bicycle helmet, riding into a street without stopping, turning left or swerving into traffic that is coming from behind, running a stop sign, and riding the wrong way in traffic. To maximize your safety, always wear a helmet and follow the rules of the road. Alright, so now the rules of the road, bicycling on the road. Bicycles in many states are considered vehicles, and cyclists have the same rights and the same responsibilities to follow the rules of the road as motorists. When riding, always go with the traffic flow. Ride on the right in the same direction as other vehicles. Go with the flow, not against it. There's nothing more annoying for somebody riding in a vehicle, riding on a bike, a pedestrian, anybody, for a bicycle being on the sidewalk and especially on the sidewalk on the opposite side of the road. It is dangerous, it is unsafe, and it is not a place for your bicycle. We have amazing bike lanes in San Diego. You'll notice on streets there will be a large painted yellow or white bicyclist. That means that that lane is to be shared with bicycles, which means that that bike is now a vehicle on that lane. So please, as a person driving, respect that and allow the bicyclists the lane. If you need to pass, do it safely. But understand that as a bicyclist, it is your duty to ride on that side of the road, with traffic in the road, not on the sidewalk and not in the opposite direction. It's just very important to follow this, because if we don't, that's when accidents happen. Obey all traffic laws. A bicycle is a vehicle and you're a driver. When you ride in the street, obey all traffic signs, signals, and lane markings. It's very important. I'd like to make a joke about the California stop, but please don't. When you're riding a bike or riding in your vehicle, just obey the stop signs, obey yield signs, obey traffic laws. Just in general, because if you do, you're keeping yourself and other people around you safe, and you're placing an importance on that safety. All right, here we are taking a left on the I guess we're going over the San Diego River. This is the bridge that connects Mission Bay with Ocean Beach. SeaWorld would be up on our right if we continued going down this bridge and then took a right, but we will actually be going down on the left near Marina Village, around Marina Village, and then up through Mission Beach. Alright, yield to traffic when appropriate. Almost always, drivers on a smaller road must yield or wait for traffic on a major or larger road. If there is no stop sign or traffic signal, and you are coming from a smaller roadway, out of a driveway, from a sidewalk, a bike path, etc., you must slow down and look to see if the way is clear. This also means yielding to pedestrians who have already entered a crosswalk. So, just be kind. If people are walking on the road, don't try to run them over. Just allow them to go, and then you can go. If we all share the road, we can all enjoy the day more peacefully and happily with one another. If we're all just about getting ourselves where we want to be on time and not worrying about anybody around us, we're going to be mad, we're going to make people around us mad, so do the right thing. Yield to traffic when appropriate. Stay alert at all times. Use your eyes and ears. Watch out for potholes, cracks, wet leaves, storm drains, railroad tracks, or anything that could make you lose control of your bike. You need your ears to hear traffic and avoid dangerous situations. Don't wear a headset when you ride. Makes me so nervous every time I see somebody wearing earbuds or headphones when they're riding their bicycle. It's so important that you know what's going on around you. Furthermore, if you don't, you're missing out on the beautiful sights and sounds of San Diego. Throughout this bike ride, I hear the river, I hear the ocean, I hear the boats as they're leaving the bay, that you can hear their horns going. It's a nice audible experience in addition to the visual experience that you're having while you're riding your bike. So don't put those headphones in, just listen out loud. And that way you can also keep yourself safe by not realizing when a vehicle is approaching, or when an ambulance is coming. That actually happened to me over this past weekend when I was riding my bike. An ambulance was, I guess, entering Mission Beach from the bridge when I was going up the bridge, and one side of traffic was completely clogged, and so he had to go on the other side of the road, and had I not heard him from about a mile away, it would have been a very scary situation to all of a sudden seeing the ambulance right in front on the opposite side of the road coming at full force. So it's important to stay mindful of your surroundings. Be predictable. Ride in a straight lane, not in and out of cars. Signal your moves to others. There's a time and place to bring out your BMX bike and do all of your tricks, and I would say that's not in the middle of the road. There are great skate parks and bike pools and all that good stuff for you to enjoy throughout San Diego, so definitely take advantage of it. However, don't do it in the middle of the road. Be very, very careful when you're riding in the middle of the road. Be predictable. The cars are there, and they're 2,000 pounds, and you're there, and you're a couple hundred, and they're always going to win size-wise. So just be mindful, and don't make sporadic moves. Be predictable. And I do apologize with the stream quality if it's fuzzy on your end. It's looking like it's kind of going in and out of fuzziness at this moment. I do apologize. It's just kind of the issue of streaming live. You'll run into technical difficulties, but I do hope you're still able to enjoy the video and get a lot out of it. All right, look before turning. When turning left or right, always look behind. For a break in traffic, then signal before making the turn. Watch for left or right traffic. Always signal where you're going. Use your arms to signal where you're going. Point. There's official biking language that you can use with your arms, but it's pretty obvious if you just point at the road that you're going, which way you're going to go, but make sure you do it. Give the drivers enough time to adjust their path so that you can get safely where you're going and they can get safely where they're going. Alright, in the video we are about to enter Mission Bay Bridge. I couldn't find the official name for this bridge. I did see that it is going to be replaced. I saw on the San Diego County website that there are plans to make this 4-lane bridge an 8-lane bridge, and they have been in effect for a while. So that'll be awesome when they finally get to complete that, and will make traffic a lot easier between Mission Bay and Ocean Beach. But in the meantime, we do still have our nice bike path and a bridge to get to and from, so I'm not going to complain about that. It does justice of how beautiful this view is with the GoPro attached to the handlebars, which is something I realized in hindsight. But if you could see on the left and right, there are sailboats going in and out of the bay, which is gorgeous, and another reminder that we're living here in paradise in San Diego. All right. Watch for parked cars. Ride far enough out from the curb to avoid the unexpected for parked cars, like doors opening or cars pulling out. This is very important. 2 days ago, I believe, when I was on a bike ride, I was going into Mission Bay, and kind of where everyone goes towards Mission Bay on the left, you'll see like the wooden roller coaster, that kind of area. That's a very highly trafficked area. It's also a bike lane, but it's also street parking for people that are going into Mission Beach. So a lot of times people will, to avoid traffic, jump over into the bike lane to ride that up into a spot that they see, and then they parallel park. It's really important to not get frustrated. It's really hard, but don't get frustrated. But beyond that, to stay mindful that that's probably going to happen. As frustrating as it is, the cars are always going to park themselves, and they're going to take any opportunity they can to do so. So just be mindful of that and slow down. If we go too quickly, we can end up getting hurt. And that almost happened this past weekend when I was going pretty fast down the hill, and a car pulled off to parallel, and I didn't realize they were going to parallel, and I had to kind of slam on my brakes. And so just be careful. Just definitely be careful. This tip is for children. And children less than 10 years old, however, are not mature enough to make the decisions necessary to ride safely in the streets. So please, please have your children ride on the sidewalk. That is where I advocate a bicycle on a sidewalk. It is for 10-year-olds. Make sure that they are riding safely. For anyone riding on a sidewalk, check the law in your state or jurisdiction to make sure sidewalk riding is allowed. It's not in San Diego, except for children. Watch for vehicles coming out or for turning into driveways, or parallel parking like we just went over. Stop at corners of sidewalks and streets to look for cars and to make sure drivers see you before crossing, and enter a street at a corner and not between parked cars. Alert pedestrians that you are nearby saying excuse me or passing on your left or using a bell or horn, which is what we covered earlier. Alright, that is all of the bicycle safety according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. You can visit them at www.nhtsa.dot.gov. And again, all of those links will be included at the end of this and the next webinar. Alright, this is this is one of the gems. So after you get over the bridge and you get to take a little break by riding down that hill, you enter Mission Bay. Now on the left will be a bunch of gorgeous summer rentals, vacation homes, retirement homes, beautiful homes, and on the right are sailboats and paddle boarders and everything you think of when you picture yourself in San Diego in the summertime. People running, it's a pretty good experience every time. I remember the first time I rode my bike through here and I was just so amazed, and one of the times where it doesn't matter how long you've been in San Diego, but it's one of those moments that you're like, oh, I'm here, I've made it, I did something right. And that was one of these moments. Now this bike trail has a speed limit, including bikes, or for bikes as well. I believe it is 12 or 15 miles an hour. The trail itself, I believe this portion at least, is mainly made for pedestrians. So just be mindful when you're biking to not be riding too fast, and to announce your presence so that people know that you're going to be passing them. Pretty much any of the streets that we're passing on the left can be used to get from the bay where we currently are over to the beach. There are certain ones like Santa Barbara and San Luis Obispo that actually have crosswalks with them. So when you're crossing over the main road in Mission Beach, you don't have to wait on traffic, or you do have to wait on traffic, but you actually have a sidewalk to go across as well. And that's what we are about to do in just a moment. But it's important to safely get across the road. But you can really use any of these roads to get from the bay over to the ocean and back and forth that way. A couple little kids and their parents riding on their bikes. Very cute. San Luis Obispo, here's our stop. These alleys are all one way, so make sure you check for traffic before you cross. Announce your presence to everyone. Here's that main road that we were talking about. We have a stop sign, and then traffic is supposed to yield once somebody is in the crosswalk. So we're gonna go over here, position ourselves so traffic knows that we're here, and then wait just a moment until it's safe, and we'll go across. Alright, we're gonna crest the hill and then take a right. There's that gorgeous Pacific Ocean that we all love straight in front of us. And here we go. This is one of the most trafficked places that I will ride my bike. There are times in peak summer season that it is impossible. It reminds you of watching some documentary in Southeast Asia with a bunch of mopeds going around in every which direction. There's just not much maneuverability at that point, but it's still fun. So this side, Mission Bay, is a little bit more quiet, touristy. I mean, quiet's not the right word. It's a little bit more touristy. There's less locals, and there are seasons involved with it. So the beach itself has less people on it. As we continue going up to the end of this, or not the end, but as we continue going down this path into Pacific Beach, I've never been in Pacific Beach when there wasn't something happening. There's always something going on their beaches, on their boardwalks, and their restaurants, and the bars everywhere. So that's definitely a place where the traffic gets pretty heavy, where there's a ton of people everywhere. So just be careful when you're riding your bike. I don't know if you can tell by this video, but I keep a pretty consistent speed up until I get into Mission Beach, and especially on this boardwalk, I really tend to slow down and just enjoy the sights and sounds, and try not to go too fast. Every once in a while you'll see somebody that's trying to use it like they're doing laps, but it's not really the best place to do that. If you can pass and you'd like to, it's obviously fine, but make sure that you're being mindful of other people's experiences around you. Alright, well, I am going to end this first video. Let me put up, let's see, grab our PowerPoint one more time so that you can see the links like I promised. There we go. And again, I will post these links at the beginning and end of the next video. I hope you've enjoyed part 1. In part 2, we're going to go through more biking tips that are San Diego specific, and then bike the rest of the way down from Pacific Beach back to Ocean Beach. Thanks again for enjoying.